Turn on my earphone. Yeah.
Dance on
Jamaica, Africa, Mount Zion, hey, keep it high and fly. Hey, spread your wings and sail. Better out there for your mind, youth. Hey, keep it high and fly. Hey, spread your wings and sail. Better out there for your mind, youth. Hey, now I want ya. Progress we are deal with. Progress, progress, progress. Progress we are deal with. Progress, progress. Wait, no make no stop you in a life. Back off your bubble so the fire feel like anything what you want to do it with all of your mind. Now do not do wrong, everything I feel right. Hey, now stop once you start. Do it with the love in your heart. Study this system, you have to move smart. This is one and number one on the chart. Progress we are deal with. Progress, progress, progress. Progress we are deal with. Progress, progress. What? Know what you want out of life. And the best thing that everybody you gonna make them one little talk. Don't let it get to you. Anyhow you start do the wrong things, them a go criticize. The only way out is up, keep going up. The whole of them surprise. Progress we are deal with. Progress, progress, progress. Progress we are deal with. Progress, progress. Keep it high and fly. Hey, spread your wings and sail. Better out there for your mind, youth. Hey, keep it high and fly. Hey, spread your wings and sail. Better out there for your mind, youth. Progress we are deal with. No make no stop you in a life. Progress. Progress we are deal with. Anything what you want to do it with all of your mind. Now do.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Now, welcome to Not Stop the Progress workshop. I am Ms. Tamara Cousins, your host for this afternoon. Welcome, Ms. Sanya Rose, Edna Manning Electro. Let's see, welcome participants for joining us. Now, this is a workshop that will be conducted by me, Ms. Cousins, along with Ms. Khadija Page. We're pleased to have you. Now, the title of the workshop is Not Stop the Progress. As the name suggests, right, we are progressing despite the challenges that we're facing with the new norm since COVID-19. Now, the strategies used to create engaging lesson for the online and face-to-face flipped visual arts classroom is what we're going to be looking at for this afternoon. All right, now we're going to be looking at the agenda that is laid out. Now, the welcome and introduction, Now Stop the Progress music intro, which I already did, special guests, presenters, participants, host prior, icebreaker, introduction of the workshop host, introduction of the first speaker, Ms. Khadija Page, presentation 1, strategies used to create engaging gamified virtual lessons. Then we have a question and answer 10 minutes, which she'll also engage in a demonstration process. Break and entertainment for at least 10 minutes, where I'm going to encourage you to step away from your devices, your screen for at least 10 minutes. And then you will have the second presentation, which will be conducted by me. All right, then we have our evaluation form and closure of the activity. Now, can we bow our heads or give a moment of silence as I pray? God of grace, we open our hearts, minds, and soul to worship you. Thank you that today or this afternoon we dwell in your kingdom and live in your presence. Thank you that as we gather together as educators, that we'll glorify your name and do our best for the betterhood of this nation. Come be with us, inspire us, and lead us in our time together. We ask all this in your name, in your beautiful name, I pray. Amen. Now, the icebreaker for this afternoon. Is everyone able to see the screen? Should have asked that earlier. Are we able to see what's happening? Can I get a raise hand if you're able to see? Okay, awesome. All right. Good, wonderful. All right. Now, icebreaker. Can we name the artist? First person to text in the chat. All right, so we're using up the chat for the icebreaker. Name the artist. No one?
No one, they're pretty dance.
No one wants to try this one. This is an artist. Let me give you an hint. He's a Jamaican cartoonist. All right. I am going to, let me put it in mode. Escape. All right, so Lasme is the name of the artist. Have you ever heard of Lasme? No, so it's not Clovis. This one is Lasme. So he's a cartoonist, a Jamaican cartoonist. So we know Clovis Brown, but this is Lasme. And I know that sometimes he doesn't take much pictures, so you're not able to always find images online of him. All right, so that's one icebreaker. We have 2 more to go, so we're going to try another one. Name the artwork. First person to text the answer in the chat. All right, so that's the artist. What about the name? All right, thank you, Miss Christie. Yes, Redemption Song. All right, so our final icebreaker. All right, another artist here. Name the artist. We don't know this artist? Yes, Miss Rose. Thank you. Jean Pearson. All right, so this is Jean. All right, so that is a game that was created. Yes, Miss Christie, that's Jean Pearson. So I see your face. Yes. So when we're creating engaging lesson, right? When we give it to our students to do or to create the lesson in terms of to engage the classroom, sometimes it allows you to put the presentation in slide mode, which I did earlier, in order for you to access or use demonstrate a particular game. So engagement lesson or engaging lessons. To engage means to excite or to draw your learners or students' curiosity. It means to wow them in a way that catches or grabs their attention. So imagine creating a lesson that at the beginning you grab the students' attention and you engage them. And you continue to engage and re-engage them throughout the lesson. right? So that is engagement in a sense. Now, a lesson on mask making, like some of the images that you can create or use to engage students, is bringing the humor or the wow in the classroom, right? So it allows them now to start to converse or to have discussion and participate in the lesson, right? So you can look under the lesson for mask making, you can look at funny mask, ridiculous mask, silly mask, outrageous mask, and you bring up some of these images just to strike conversations, just to get them engaged in the lesson, right? So eventually you have them creating interesting activities, right? So interesting when lessons are introduced like this. It does not have to be difficult or overly detailed, just interesting enough to open students' mind for the learning process to begin. The students really like attention grabbers in lessons, right? And when you do that, you're able to engage them. So using the technology to engage students learning makes planning very easy for teachers in today's classroom, especially with the new norm, right? So integration of technology is important, right? So whether we're using illustrations, videos, images, charts, books, right? Gamified learning to engage our students, right, in the beginning of the lesson, right? For example, this is an example of an engagement image that I use in one of my lessons, right? The lessons was based on cartoon, right? And students see this now, it grabs their attention and you bring them to focus what the lesson is about. Now, to re-engage that lesson after teaching cartoon, I created a puzzle. So I created puzzles so students can now put the puzzle pieces together, and I hyperlink docs so they can continue to re-engage with the lesson or the content itself. Now, the physical classroom is still, it's not obsolete. So September is around the corner. Some schools will be doing the blended approach. Some will be doing the flipped classroom, right? I'm multitasking, I'm admitting persons as I go. Forgive me. All right. So yes, the physical classroom space where we engage our students. So they will come to us probably week on, week off. So they flip it. So maybe this week we'll see them face to face. Next week we'll see them online, right? And you have to engage students so that they're interested in coming to your class. Oftentimes, we as educators, especially in the visual arts classroom, when we don't get the students involved in the activities, and usually we do, they tend to want to stay away from class, right? I'm seeing Miss Rose. I'm not sure if persons are okay. All right, let me continue. All right, so whether we're teaching the mask online or face-to-face, because this is another way in which the students now have engaged in our on-zone lessons, where they still create these masks based on the lesson. So transition from the online platform to the face-to-face, it should be an engagement and grabs their attention, right? So COVID is still around, right? And if you notice, even if you're keeping current with the situation, you know that it is at the peak, and we have to set in place when we go back to the classroom and prepare for the flip or the blended approach, still teaching remotely and so on. So we're catering for the synchronous and the asynchronous students as we prepare lessons for September coming, right? So the classroom will be both a virtual learning platform along with the physical platform. Students will be at home where you will still engage them online, and you'll also engage them when they come back to school. They're still using the different gadgets. Some will still pose problems and issues. And it is up to us as educators to liaison with the parents and to continue to progress with our lessons as we, teach our students. And we want to reach them regardless of the circumstances and their challenges and the difficulty they're facing, right? We want to engage them progressively, right? So This project seeks to promote strategies used to create engaging lessons for online and face-to-face visual art classroom. The goal of the workshop is to promote the use of strategies used to create engaging lessons for synchronous and asynchronous visual arts flipped classroom. Our objectives to provide a 2.5 hour workshop on strategies used to create engaging, re-engaging lesson for visual arts classroom, strategies used to create engaging and gamified lesson for the synchronous learners or in the visual arts classroom, strategies used to engage and re-engage students in the flip and the blended visual arts classroom. All right, so first speaker is Ms. Khadija Page. Today we're pleased to welcome Ms. Page, a visual arts educator. She's a graduate of the Edna College of the Visual and Performing Arts. She's presently employed at the visual arts as a visual arts teacher at Mount St. Joseph Catholic High School in the Cool Hills of Manchester, where she has been teaching for 4 years. She will be sharing her expertise on the effective use of technology to create gamified lessons in the visual arts online classes, strategies to engage and create gamified lessons for synchronous learners, students in the visual arts classroom. Now, without further ado, I now hand over to Miss Page. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to share my screen.
Good afternoon.
You can just indicate with a raise of hand if you're able to see it. All right, great. So for this presentation, I will be looking at basically one way that you can gamify your virtual lessons. So we'll be looking at creating drag and drop games using Google Slide. So at the end of this workshop, on my section, you'll be able to apply and demonstrate techniques used to create a Google Slide drag and drop game. You'll be able to create your own drag and drop game in Google Slides, and then as well as recognize that implementing the drag and drop games, you can engage or re-engage your learners. So we're looking at what is a Google Slide. So it's an online presentation app that lets you create and format presentations and works with other people. You might be wondering what's a drag and drop game. So basically, this is a method of moving images from one place or another and clicking them with the mouse and moving them across the screen. Okay. So in my virtual classrooms, these are 2 types of drag and drop games that I've used. So for grade 8, I had used a puzzle drag and drop game. So initially for my classes, they were asynchronous. So what I used for my drag and drop games was that I had on the first slide the instructions or tasks that the students are to do. Then for them to drag and drop, this is one thing that you should keep in mind, is that the PowerPoint cannot go, the Google Slide cannot go into presentation mode. Therefore, if it does, the pieces won't be able to move. So it has to be outside of the presentation mode. So for this drag and drop section, they were to create, they basically would move the pieces around and create, and it will create an image. Now this was used for term 1, painting, I think term one activities for grade 8. What piece is missing? Now because it was asynchronous, again, what I did was at the end of each slide, I would have the complete image. So for the students who weren't there for the class, or who weren't there for maybe a synchronous class, they would still understand or know how is it that the image was to be placed together. Also, there will be like bonus questions where they can answer, and another drag and drop puzzle for them to complete. The second one was a label drag and drop. Basically for this one, it was a grade 10, grade 9. They were to identify shading techniques So my first slide, the instructional page, second slide, the images, and outside here, the pieces where the students are to drag into its place. Now for this one now, I created a information button. So for students that maybe, especially if it's kind of like you're trying to figure out what they know from what they don't know, they can click here and then it will send them to either a website or to a section in the Google to help them find out the information to help them with the drag and drop game. Now, the key to creating a drag and drop game is creating a background template that cannot be moved. Then on top of that, you will basically add other elements to which the students would click and drag around the canvas. Now, for the rest of this presentation, I'm just going to go through quickly this section. Yeah, this is right here is just a video showing how to move around the pieces if you're doing a drag and drop game. So you're going to look at the steps to create a drag and drop game. So the first step, you're going to create a background image on a blank slide. So these are these slides I'm showing you now is basically slides that you can go back to later on when we're actually starting to create your own drag and drop games. All right, so you're going to create a background image on a blank slide. You're going to create your activity template. And then steps 3 and step 4. Sorry. Step 3, you're going to assign. So this section here is when you are, for those who are using Google Classroom, how you would assign these games to your students and how each student can get their own copy of the drag and drop game. So you would go into your assignment, you would upload your Google slide, and there's a section here, a drop down menu here that says make a copy for each student. So when you assign them this activity, each student will get their own copy to complete the task. Now for more of a synchronous session, if you're using Zoom or Google Meet, what you can do is create various slides into your Google slide deck, label them for each student, and then have them work collaboratively and comment on each other's work. All right, so I'm gonna demonstrate to you how is it that you can create basically a descramble drag and drop game. So you will go in here. So the first thing we're going to do is go into Google Slides. Then we are going to open a blank slide. So the first step we're going to take is to create our background, the background for our activity. So for this, I'm going to insert an image. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can do it from your desktop, where you have your own personal images. You click insert image, upload from computer, or you can search the web. So you can search Google itself and insert it. So you will use coming. Okay, I'm going to be using this image here, and then I will click insert. Sorry. It's moving pretty slow. I don't know why it's not inserting. Try again. Okay, there we go, double click. And then I will place this image and stretch it across my slide. And there we go. We have our background. So then after I've created my background, I am now going to place all the elements that I need that I don't want the students to move. I don't want it to move any at all. So I would need to have my squares to where the students would drag the tiles for each letter. So I'm going to go with a 4. I'm going to go to the darker. I'm going to a 5-letter word and arrange them beside each other. Great. Okay. Then for me, I like to create hints for students that might have a little bit more difficulty figuring out what's happening with just having the letters alone. So you would have that area, I would have my area here where I would place the hints because I wouldn't want to show it the first time. I would want them to maybe move it across and then at their own pace figure it out. So this will be my second hint. All right, so I'm going to insert another image. So I'm going to use an image and I'm going to use a term for my hints. So my first hint would be an image. This one has to be a little bigger. And then my second hint would be a term. So I'm just going to insert a text box. Insert my term. And then as well as the instructions to go at the top. A moment. Definitely have to do that. Change the font size. And there we go. And now, and then I will insert a bit emoji just to make it a bit more interesting. A bit more interactive. And here we go. So this is my back. This is what I'll be using as my background. Right? So now after I've created my background, what I need to do now is to download. So I'll go to File, Download. I'm going to save it as a PNG. So save PNG image, current slide. You will click on that. And then it will download as a PNG. Now, being that how it is now, everything is movable. So if a student uses this, all these elements here that don't really need to move will move, right? So now how to make it unmovable is to go into new slide, a blank slide, control right click, change background, and then you will click choose image. You click browse, and then we will go into your documents. One moment. All right. And then here you go. Now you have your background image and these elements won't move, right? So now we need to move on to put in our draggable elements now. So we need the table, the tiles that will go into these places here, as well as the tiles to go on top of the hints. All right, so now we're gonna go again and we're going to go to the text box. We're going to create each text box. So I'm gonna just put the letters in and change the background. So use here to change the background of the text box to a deeper gray. Increase the size of my font. It's there. Change my font and then center it. Right? So instead of doing this repeatedly, copy or 4 more times. H A E E. Right? Then you would just scramble these tiles. And then here we go. Let's have students keep going to rely them. And now we're going to create the coverings for the hints. So we go again, we use the shape tool. We go into the bucket, or just to change it up a bit, you go into gradient. There we go. Then we go into format options. We can make it look more like a tile by using a drop shadow. Put more shadow on top of it, temper it a bit. And there we go. So we have this tile on top. Then number 1. So we put a text on top to show that this is hint number 1. Line down. Then we hold down, left click and hold and have both of them together. We go in and we group each, and then we repeat the same thing for the second area. There we go. And here we have it. Simple and easy, a simple drag and drop game that you can do with the students. All you have to do is just move these elements. So you realize that the background doesn't move. Just these areas here. The students can place into their squares. Can move these areas here to show the hints and so on. Great. So now that I've demonstrated basically how to create a descrambled drag and drop game, you can try it yourself. So you can choose a term, elements and principles of art term, and create your own descrambled drag and drop puzzle. So what I will do now is I will send a link in the chat to the presentation that I did now, you can use slides 8 to 13 to guide you if you are unsure of if you're unsure of how to do certain steps to complete the drag and drop game. So it's both videos. These slides would have videos and written instruction. So I guess we can start the actual creating of the drag and drop game. No? Great. So we will start by opening a blank Google document for those of us who are using our phones or laptops. Raise your hands of those who can start. Or having any issues.
Paige, can you send the link again? Someone just joined us, so
Okay, no problem.
All right, so Mr. Rose, I see that you just log on and you just came on. Can you click the link in the chat? Miss Paige is going to, go over the instructions with you so you know what to do. So go ahead and click on the link that was just sent.
So is there anyone who has started creating their drag and drop game?
I'm only seeing one person who has logged on. Can we, it's a workshop, so we want you to engage with the activity and try to create your own drag and drop game that will be of benefit to you at the end. All right, so 2 participants so far. Only seeing 2 persons.
Right.
Often.
All right, welcome to the
Right.
participants who have just joined. I am going to resend a link based on the activities that we're doing. We're creating a drag and drop puzzle. All right, so if there's any question you have, you can direct it at Miss Page. She's the one demonstrating this particular part of the event. All right, so I just sent the link. You can go ahead and log on, and she'll give you the instructions in how you go about creating your engagement gamified activity.
All right. So is there anyone who would like to share the screen for share their screen to where they are at this point in the creation of their drag and drop game? Has anyone with a just a raise of hands? Has anyone started?
Is there anyone who came in just now? 'Cause I think I saw someone who came in a moment ago. A link was posted in the chat. I just posted it again. What we're doing is an activity, a drag and drop activity. So you can click the link and try and create your own activity. If there's anything that you miss and you don't necessarily understand, you can go ahead and ask Miss Page, and she will assist you with that aspect. Miss Page, has anyone started?
I'm not sure because I'm not seeing anyone sharing their screens. You would have to use your own Google slide or Google, yeah, basically you would have to use your own Google slide to create your own drag and drop game. It will be difficult to create it in the presentation that I had shared, the link that I had shared in the chat.
Okay, Shauna, thank you. All right, so you want to share with us what you have done? Anyone else is attempting the game? Can I get a raise of hands if you're attempting the game, or probably need to see the activity again via the link? All right, Miss Christie, I see your hand. So you're attempting the game. Okay, great. So that's 2 participants. Anyone else?
Anyone else would like clarity, especially for those coming in who just joined?
Okay, all right.
I just want to say that I'm having some. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Yes, I'm having some devices issues, so I don't want to just be here and let you feel that you're just talking to a zombie, so to speak. But I am trying to follow as much as I can, so that's why I haven't started. I started late as well. I joined late as well. All right, so I
Okay.
just want to make that clear.
All right. Thank you for the feedback.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else? The mic is open for you to communicate what you're going through and if you need assistance or if you understand in essence what to do or if you had started. Yes, you can receive assistance. You can share. All right. So Ms. Drisdale, you can go ahead and share with us what you have done so far.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen then.
Yes, thanks.
Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, you're able to see your screen.
Yes, we're seeing you.
Okay, so I have not I have not gone far. I've just selected a background because I'm looking at the instructions while also doing it. Right? So I'm just following the instructions little by little. So the first stage was to select a background, right? So I went and got this background on Google. And then it says create your activity template.
That's correct.
I'm not, hold on. Create a Google slide deck, add a blank screen.
All right, so at this stage now, you're basically going to choose the word that you would want, the term, the art, and principle, element, and principles of art term that you'd want to scramble.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you will create the boxes for
Okay, so
each letter.
I can go ahead and start that.
Yeah.
All right, so
So they're going to
insert
shapes.
shape.
Yeah, shapes.
So I guess I can use circles.
Yes, you can.
All right. So I have one right there, and then Control C. Let's see if it works here. Nope, it doesn't.
No,
work.
it's, yeah, just copy and paste.
I was trying to Control C, but it's not working.
No, then Control
That's what it
V.
is. Oh,
Control V.
okay, there we go. All right, so about 4 of them.
So you would line them up side by side.
You give them a little space. All right. Equal spacing. Let's just put that.
All right, Miss Christie, I see that you have a question. You can go ahead and ask.
I think if Miss Gisdale continue sharing her screen, I guess the question will be answered. The question though is after you will have placed the shapes on it and the clue, the hints, how do
Yes.
you stabilize the slide again? I remember she saying something about PNG, but I
Right.
don't remember what happened after.
All right. So you would go into File, Download, and then you click the PNG current slide, and then you'd re-upload it as a background onto that slide.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let me see.
All right. So you're not ready to do that yet, Shauna. You need to you need to put in your instructions and the hints.
All right, so let me insert text box,
Yes.
and my instructions would go here, and it would say unscramble. The letters below to form right, I think, yeah, this don't need to be capitalized. Right. Then I would have to change this into white. So yes, I could just white. And then it says after creating your activity template, wait, what? Create a new Google slide deck.
You don't necessarily have to create a new Google slide. You can just create a blank slide under the one that you had before.
Okay, so I would go, sorry, I would just add the plus sign. And then add a blank slide and upload your image you created as a
Right.
background.
So we missed a step. So you go back up top to the first slide. You go into File, Download, and then PNG image.
Oh,
Current slide, yeah.
okay, and then I
So
place it here. Then
then you would at the edge of the slide, because you already have a text box, you would just click Control right click.
Hold on, at the edge of the slide.
Control right click and then change background.
Okay, and then I can choose image.
Yes.
And then drag this there, right?
Yes.
All right.
Click done.
Oh.
So just what I advise you to do that the text boxes that you have onto here now, you just delete those.
Oh, could I change the slide like from a different kind of slide, like
you should be able
a
to
plain slide?
It's a blank slide.
Wait, this is still not a blank one. Wow. All right, that's fine.
There you go. And now that you've had that, now that you have the background done, now you'll be creating the draggable options now. So you'll be putting in your letters.
Nice. All right. So let me look back at the instructions. Okay. So the letters I'm assuming will have to take the shape of the circle.
Not necessarily. You can still just use a text box, but it would have been smaller so you can fit inside the circle.
All right. So insert text box and one here. And I'd probably say, what was the word again, Lord Jesus?
You can use line since LINE.
That's or form, but line easy, you know. All right, but I'm going to use it nevertheless. So that's an L. So I'd have to make the L a little bit bigger. All right, Shauna, you have to move a little faster and change it to white.
You can also change the background of the text box.
Okay. Oh,
by
yes.
using the bucket tool.
Yes, that's so true. So I could make it another color even. Wait, that's a little bit too bright, but okay, and I can resize it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then you can just copy the text box 3 more times.
All right. Wait, copy. Wait, what? Copy copy, and then I would edit it.
Yeah.
All right. So Control V, Control V, Control V. All right. So kind of make it scramble a little bit. So this could be N, E, I. All right.
All right, so that's basically it. And
This
then,
is it.
yeah,
Okay.
you're just missing the hints, but
okay.
yeah, you basically got the elements of how to stabilize the background and then have the movable image at the top.
Oh, so the background is centered. Oh,
Yeah.
the background can't move. Okay.
Yeah, they can't move. Yeah.
Okay. What I'm thinking based on what I'm seeing in your example, I should have probably put over. I should have probably put this over so that there is space. Are they still linked? No, they're not.
No.
Oh.
The first slide would have been your experimental slide.
Okay. So
the second slide would have been the permanent one.
So if I move this over, for example, like everything over to get the space for the clues.
Yeah.
see if all of these can move the same time. Beautiful, yes. So let's do that. And let's move this. Wow. The thing is, I want it to have the same space that you have over there. So
You
I'm
don't
going to.
necessarily have to. You can put your hints in a different area.
Oh, but there's no space. There's no space to put it here. So I'm going to try again what you said. So you said file, and hold on. It says
No, but remember the hints
download.
would have to be the hints
Mm-hmm.
would have to be on the background. So it would have been best to write the hints that you have on the background and then re-upload and then save the image and re-upload it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I could put the hints over here. So do I go shape again?
You can use the same text box and then just color the background.
All right. Wait, that's not text box, that's shape. All right.
All right, Ms. Drizzle, you can also X off the theme so you have a broader screen in a sense.
Oh, over here. Okay, cool. Okay. Thank you. I'm hoping persons are learning while I am learning as well, because I'm learning. All right. And then the clues, insert text box. Put one here. That probably says a point moving in space. Wait, let me look at the instructions again. The hint. Oh, there's something that you have over it. Do you add that in the second slide? Do you add that in
I would add it in the second slide, yes.
Okay. So a point moving in space. And then, so this would be the final thing. And then in the second one, so we're gonna go to new slide.
No, you don't have to use a new slide. You could just redo the background on the second one that you had.
I can?
To change the back. Yeah, you can change the background on that one.
How do I do that? Just go to...
The same way I did the first time. You go to the edge of the document. No, go into... Oh, you did Okay, wait. Stop. One moment. Did you save the first slide? The
No,
edit that
I
you did?
didn't.
All right,
No,
save
I
that
didn't.
one. Save that one first.
I would have to download PNG.
Yeah.
And then I would come here, press the end of it, and
change background. Yeah.
Choose image, and again drag.
Yeah, and then all you have to do now is just create a shape to go on top of your hint.
Okay. All right, so I think I'm finished. Basically. So I would I can use any shape.
Yeah, you can use any shape.
Right? There's no star. There's no star. This is strange. Why is there no stars? All right. We'll work with this shape looking thing. And then I could write the word. Do I allow you to write in this? Yes. INT. And center. And make a little bigger. And change the color of the box. Ta-da!
Yeah, basically.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Right. So is there anyone else who has attempted thus far? I would like to share their screen with their progress.
Can we get to see at least one more of the drag and drop puzzle that someone else attempted? Doesn't matter if you're finished or not. You could just share with us what you have started. No?
I have a question for the sake of presentation, right? When you're presenting, because I realize that we're able to move it up and down in edit mode. So when we're presenting, or if we send it to the students, let's say in a Google Drive, will they be able to, if it's shared, will they be able to edit it like that? Is there like animations that we can do? So for example, for the hint, instead of moving it like that, can we add an animation that will let it swipe up or something like that?
The thing is with this one, it can't go into presentation mode. If it goes into presentation mode, the editable parts, the interactive parts won't move.
Okay.
So they will be using it not in a presentation mode, just a regular mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what advice you have as for presentation? Because what this is saying to me is that we will always have to be monitoring it, because if we send it to the students, they would just naturally remove the hint, like without even.
I think the hint is there, but the thing is with the hint is just there to guide them. For like students, especially the ones who are asynchronous, for them to just have that bit of information to help them out so they don't get frustrated.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's basically it. So if it was a more synchronous settings,
Mm-hmm.
you would have more control over that.
Yeah.
Because you'll be able to monitor the students and what they're doing. Because I think, let me just show. I think maybe it came in late. Let me show the slide. All right. So in this slide here, so I kind of basically showed 2 ways you can disseminate the interactive side to the students. So the first one is in the Google Drive. So there's a section here when you upload it into assignments where it says make a copy for each student. So each student will get their own copy to do it on their own, right? So if it's a case that you're not using the Google Classroom or you're using Zoom or Google Meets, what you would do is create a collaborative environment where you make multiple slides in one Google slide, label them so each student would have access to their own slide, and then you can monitor it from there. Because once they start moving pieces around, especially if you put it in the let me see if I show it here. If you go into view and grid view, you'll be able to see all the slides going across, and you'll be able to see when the students are moving it along.
Okay.
So you'll be able to monitor them that way. Yes. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
You're welcome. So does anyone else have any questions? Miss Smith?
Good evening. I'm using a phone. My phone don't have access to a laptop right now, so I wasn't able to do. But I've been listening and looking. My question is, could I, for the little shapes that you would move the letters to, could I add a picture in the shapes? Say, for instance, to change it to something like a matching instead of scramble and stuff.
Yes, I think I showed 2 other ones that in the present email came later as well. Coming with me. So in essence, for this activity, for this workshop, I was just looking for something that would be simple and not too complex. It would take up a lot of time. It's just to get the essence of how to create the backdrop, insert it so that it's not movable, and then have the movable pieces on top. But there's a lot of ways that you can create the drag and drop puzzle. So you can use images like I did here. Share this tab instead. So here I have an image that's basically like a puzzle. So you will break down the image and the students would just put it together onto the board to create a puzzle, right? That would have been basically a puzzle for them.
Okay.
Then,
but
as you said with the images, and then I have this one here where, and then there's this one here. Oh, sorry. There's this one here where they can basically move the pieces to label the areas. So, and as you said, if you have the name, they can just move the images towards the name.
Okay. This one, that one was what I was more
Yeah, so
aware.
it just it's not limited to what was presented. There's just different ways to do it. It's just the one I used for the workshop would have been a bit more simpler.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Christian. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Will this link be available to us after the presentation?
Yes,
For
it will
practice
be.
purpose?
Yes, it will be.
Okay.
Yes, it will
Thank
be
you.
shared.
But it would be great if someone could tell me if the videos that are, because I put it in view mode, it's not in editing mode. If someone could just click on the link and tell me if the videos are working in view mode. Because the slides, I had videos on the slides for the steps to create a game. So if anyone can just indicate to me if the videos are working. Oh, they're not working. All right. So that means. All right. So what? Okay, the first slide. Okay. So what may happen is that come on. So okay, for that section, and I would have to fix that, and then I'll come back to you guys. Miss Cousins can reshare that link later on once I get the videos working.
All right, no problem.
Yes.
All right.
So I think we can be moving on. Are we going to the break now?
Yes, we can go. So I'm going to share my presentation again.
All right, no problem.
All right, are we able to see what is being shared? This page, are you seeing the
Yes, I'm
presentation?
seeing the
Okay.
presentation.
Yes, we're seeing.
Okay, awesome. All right. So we're going to step away from the screen for at least 10 minutes, and then we come back for the second session, return for the second session of the workshop. All right, it's a 10-minute break.
Mama never wrong. Papa never wrong. Listen to the foundation, you know. It's like my grandmother have her own language, but when she talk to me, no understand. Sometimes she nagging, but one thing, she never wrong. Keep by your mouth, young man. I know everyone you're from. No follow band company, focus my grandson. Of all these lessons she taught me, one thing stands out. In the race of life, you can't lose hope. She said, son, hey, one no take no dash away. Young man, one no take no dash away. She said, son, one no take no dash away. That means don't give up, don't lose hope, and everything will work out. Well, I'm a grandfather of it. One language, one time I never like listen. Mama teach me love things, but Papa do the much different. No put all of your money in a hairy bank. Look out, son, them are wicked. Try hold up your head and have ambition. Work hard for your things, yeah, man. Out of all of Grandpa's teachings, one thing stands out. In the race of life, you can't lose hope. He said, son, he want no dead, no dashing way. Young man, want no dead, no dashing way. Hear me, man. Want no dead, no dashing way. Hey, from you of life, no give up the fight, and everything will work out. Well, in my community, which part we live, everybody move like family. With a friend or four, we tour to tour, but no intruder can harm with. Yes, we run blind, see and deaf, no, we know the news carrying. 6 times fall, 7 you rise, my youth keep on trying. After all these reasonings and teachings, one thing stands out. In the race of life, you can't lose hope. Listen, son, he want no dead, no dash away. Young man, he want no dead, no dash away. Listen, my sister, he want no dead, no dash away. Oh, from you of life, no give up the fight, and everything will work out. Ooh. Nobody dash where you take for you cross the water. I go a pumpkin belly. I had a must steal and think I could breathe. Walk on by the morning, can't come good evening. To everything there's a season. Some things got to give. Oh Lord, bless the life I live. Na 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 na. Money I gonna make this year. I'm gonna win this year. And if you're not say progress, don't come around here. I'm so focused this year. I'm gonna get my share. I just progress. We end us round here. I that we want this year. Can't blame nobody if I don't step up and get it. My fault if I see opportunity and I take it. Got to do something before something do me. I got to get this bread. Road up it take on a ride right now. Can we know what's in a bed? As money I'm gonna make this year. I'm gonna win this year. And if you're not say progress, don't come around here. I'm so focused this year. I'm gonna get my share. I just progress. We end us round here. This is the new sound out there. In a device of me bread and Shakespeare. Me mind make up, me now give up. This time me a find some new gear. Me a step, me a sweat, do me best, nothing less. Me a work hard, once me a blow breath. Now get depressed, me a hold on till I see that paycheck pass. Money I gonna make this year. I'm gonna win this year, I feel it. And if you're not say progress, don't come around here. I'm so focused this year. I'm gonna get my fair share. I just progress. We end us round here. I don't to want this time. Cause life is so unkind and full of surprises. I just progress, we end our zone, yeah. I got to want money, I gonna make this year. I'm gonna win this year, I feel it. And if you're not the progress, don't even come near. I'm so focused this year, I'm gonna get my share. Progress, we end our zone, yeah. I got to want something, got to give. Oh Lord, bless the life I live. Something's got to give. Oh Lord, bless the life I live. Bless the life, the life I live. Picante music. The tears fall from my eyes when me think about some things I've been through. Only for trials and failures, but me never yet think we quit do. Only for doubts, man, get love it all the time, myself alone music, but me sorry for the dirty book of them one never believe Father gotta fulfill the dream. Day by day me I get by, still I want me head high. One thing me learn in life, in anything you do, if you don't get fight, it don't make sense. The more them fight, so me get strength, We push through the obstacles, some man a push through the obstacles. If you don't get fight, it don't make sense. More them fighters, so me get strength. Push through the obstacles, some man a push through the obstacles. No for them hate me for nothing, them hate me for nothing. But I never give my ratings for something. Fire kills, no matter how me do good in a life, them kill me with negative vibes. Just I play the fool for catch the wise. Now listen when them criticize me, say them are hypocrites. See the fear within them eyes. Big until one day me I go shine.
All right, are we still here?
Yes, I am. I don't know if others.
Okay, good.
Yes,
All
still
right.
here.
So, all right, thank you everyone for staying on and being with us. Now we're at the second session of our workshop, and I am Miss Cousins, Mr. Mark Cousins, and I'll be looking at strategies used to engage and re-engage lessons for synchronous and asynchronous classroom, in the visual art classroom rather. All right, so I am going to share my presentation. All right, so let me go over that again. Strategies used to engage and re-engage students in the flip and the blended visual arts classroom. All right. So let me stop sharing this particular one and share another. All right. Okay. right? So we often ask ourselves, how can we engage our students and keep them engaged throughout our lessons? Now, how do we engage students who have connectivity issues and who have limited access or no devices? Right now, one such way in which you can engage your students is as I said before, is by using videos, storytelling, things that grabs their attention. Now, one such way that I realize work in my visual arts classroom is bringing the theater arts. So storytelling is also encouraged, and I dedicated a YouTube channel for that. I'm just going to play one of the story that I told on less on the folklore culture, and we're looking at drawing, and this is a storytelling before we go into the activity. All right, give me a second while I make the screen a little bigger.
What are you reading?
Are you hearing it?
Yes, I'm hearing.
No, that is when a man and a woman go together to get dinner.
No, my grandchild. Deity is actually another word for God or goddess. So this story is based on River Muma, right? She's the goddess of the water. All right. Legends say that River Muma inhabits the rivers of Jamaica, and all the fishes are River Muma's children. Sometimes people say River Muma rises out of the river to sit on the rocks and comb her long black hair. But like they say, don't touch River Mama. Don't even look at her. There's no telling what she will do if you try. Some say if you so much as see her, you fall into a trance and see she'll grab you by the ears and drag you under the river. If you try to catch her, the fish will disappear, the river will run dry. It's best, they say, not to take trouble with River Muma. River Muma lives in deep rivers, way down in those places where the water is tranquil, still, and blue. In spots beneath the shades of the cotton trees, rimmed with plums, spears of plums, and overhung with ferns, ropes, vines of plants. It is there, they say, is those still places where down at the bottom of the river that the golden table lies hidden. The Spaniards left this table made of solid gold during their quest for gold many centuries ago. River Muma guards that table, but often
at noon, on the hottest of blazing hot days, the golden table will rise slowly to the surface and over there. When the greedy see that the table, they long to steal it. Many have tried. One time, in the deepest Blue River, on the land of a great sugar estate, the foreman saw that the table rise, so he chained a team of oxen to it. Pull, he cried, and he snapped his whip across his oxen back. Pull! They pulled and they pulled 12 muscular, broad-backed oxen. But the golden table simply pulled every single animal and all the yokes and chains into the river, all the way to the bottom. That, they say, is what happens to anyone who tries to steal the golden table. One day, Bastian and his sister Laura were walking home at noon, and as they passed the river, they saw sitting on some rocks the river mama. Run away, Laura cried, but it was too late. Bastian saw it right before his eyes, that magnificent golden table rising up out of the river, hovering there, gleaming bright. Let's get that table, Bastian grasped. He couldn't believe his eyes. Heard the tales, of course, everyone had, but he had never imagined something so hypnotizing. Laura grabbed his arm. Never, never, brother, she said, and she pulled him on, trying to get him out of the path back home. You know what happens to greedy people, Bastian? Greedy Bastian said. Greedy, Bastian said. He was bigger and stronger than his sister, and he could resist her pull, no matter how hard she tried. I'm not greedy, and you know that. I do, Laura agreed. That's why we're leaving. Only greedy people take what's not theirs. And what about Papa's boss? Bastian asked. He's greedy. Their father worked in the sugarcane field, and for the last few weeks, his boss had stopped paying him. When Papa asked why, he said, I need the money. More money. I never mind, Laura said. Remember what Mama says? People who are covetous end up creating big problems for themselves. That you know. Yes, that's true, Bastian said. But what about Mama's boss? She gives Mama a basket as payment for carrying water. That's the raw deal she gives. That was true. Their mama worked as housekeeper, and her boss said, I can't pay you no more. I need more money for my baby. Laura shrugged. Every day is fishing day, but not every day for catching fish, she said. Things change, Bastian. Continue to argue this way, on and on until sun began to set, and that golden table drift back under the water. Soon it was night, and they were back home, arguing still. When their Papa's boss heard argument, he asked Bastian, where is this golden table? I think I should have it for myself. What's that? Bastian asked. The rich deserve the riches, the boss said. So the next day, he insisted Bastian lead him to the spot. And right there before their very eyes arose the golden table. But don't try it, Bastian said, for he had come to his senses. You know the stories. Myth, said the boss, laugh. Go on home, Bastian. I'll handle this. Bastian did go home that day, and he told his mama and Papa the tale of the golden table. Papa's boss never came home, and nobody knows where he went. But people talk. Laura said his greed drowned him, and the boss' son, he changed his ways and paid his workers a fair wage. As for Bastian, a chip, as they say, of the whole block. In other words, Bastian turned out much like his father. He was a hard worker, a good and fair man, and his mama and papa taught him well. That is the end of the story on River Mama.
Okay.
All right, so that's one way in which you can engage your students, right? So you would tell stories, and then from that story, students can illustrate or draw, still life setup or surrounding folklore characters such as River Muma. And some of the things that you could include in those still life composition that is based on folklore is like shells, stones, maybe a comb, a source comb, and so on. So you would engage them in the activity before, find creative methods in which you can engage them, along with capturing those stories. So for the synchronous class, whether it's face to face or online, basically, if you're in the classroom space, you can tell them the story. But if you're online, you can also record yourself telling the students the story. And with extension, you can also ask them to find stories of their own and record themselves and send it to the class or present it to the class, right, for the next class task. Right, so when you re-engage with them, each student would have a creative story to tell, whether they're going to record it or tell the story themselves, right? So that's one way in which you can engage the students. Another way, as I said, is using images that grabs students' attention, right? Such of this cartoon, similar to this cartoon character here of Usain Bolt, which grabs their attention, and then you can give them questions, right? You would give them questions that would engage them and allow them to start to think and along the line of the lesson, right? So read the engagement aspect. Now, what I've done for the re-engagement, let me just minimize this. I'm going to go in edit mode. So I created a lesson. So that is what we're going to be doing now. So this can be done with any images. So I'm going to break it down for you along with all the programs that I've used to create this particular puzzle, right? So Miss Page showed you a drag and drop puzzle. It's a similar feature, but I'm going to introduce to you some of the programs in which I created this particular task, right? So you have instructions and background, right? So the students would now drag each part of the puzzle and put it in place. All right. So this can be done in the synchronous class, and you can also group the students and allow them to do this. So this is a re-engagement activity after you have introduced your topic on cartoon or whichever topic, is you can use any engagement image to do your puzzle, right? Once it have a connection back to the lesson. All right, so this is one of the puzzles, and you can also use your Bitmoji. Now in this particular puzzle, you give the students instructions, and there's also a video recording, or audio I should say, sorry, that now has my voice. So your teacher, you can
Good job. Click the arrow to move to the next activity.
So now you can cater to those students who learn with the audio along with the visuals and so on. That is another program I'm going to introduce you to. So how to record yourself and put your instruction within your lessons so students can click and hear you giving them the instructions, because we know that we're catering for the different learning styles as well. All right, so now we know how to go about creating the background, like the backdrop. For our lesson, Miss Page already showed you how to go about doing that. Now in the event, I'm just going to quickly go through how you can also engage those students who don't have access to devices, because as I said, you're really catering to all of your learners. The learning kit is one method, and delivering those kits to the students can be done in various ways, right? Now, the same puzzle that you use in the synchronous class can be shared with the asynchronous students with the following steps, right? So you have students now engage with the content at home who are unable to come online or connect with the class, but you're able to still teach them and allow them to connect with what's happening, what is being done. All right. So let me go to the first step. All right. Now the program I used to create the puzzle, so I'm going to share that puzzle piece right here. Are you able to see the puzzle?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, I'm multitasking. I'm still seeing persons coming in. I'm admitting. Okay, good. All right, so the program, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Let me just copy it so everyone can have access to the program itself. Hold on. Let me do that quickly. Copy. What you will do with this particular program is simply just create an account. So you sign up with your Gmail. Once you have a Gmail, you're able to create puzzles such as this particular one. So I'm pasting that now in there. So it would take you directly to this puzzle. And all right, let me show you what's happening here. Let me reload, refresh this page. All right, now with this puzzle fundamental, you upload a particular artwork. So it can be, as I said, in engagement image or an re-engagement image or an artwork that you can upload to the puzzle fundamental, right? So once you upload the image, this is what happens. It starts to generate the pieces. Now you have option to create 20 pieces, 40 pieces, up to 50 pieces of puzzle. Well, I limited to 20, right? Because the students can also play the puzzle right here in the fundamentals. But what I did, because we're using the Google Slides, see, I'm able to maneuver and move all the puzzle pieces right here in the game. You can also, it comes with a timer. So you might give students like 15 minutes to complete the task and so on, right? So it's the same procedure. And once they go ahead, you hear it start to click in place once they have completed a particular portion of that puzzle. All right, so that is a puzzle fundamental. Now, how did I get it in my classroom, in my Google Slides? I simply copied and placed each puzzle piece, right? So that's what I did. Let me show you what's happening here. All right. So in your synchronous class now, once you've created those puzzle pieces, I said you just simply copy and paste. So you copy from the puzzle and you paste it in your slide. So that's what let me get the empty slide here. As I said, we already know to create the backdrop. So our background, you choose a color, you have your square, your bubble, and you color code it. Now I'm going to copy and paste the puzzle pieces. So I'm moving back and forth. So I'm just going to show you how that goes. Copy. So I'm copying it straight from the puzzle. And it pastes right there. So it takes a little time to do, but you can copy all the different pieces and put them on your background that you have already created with all the instructions and so on already made. Right now, in this particular lesson, it's a re-engagement lesson where I had all the students, right? Let me see. So if I have a class with, say, 15 students, right? So I create, each student will be given a number or assigned a slide where they can complete that puzzle. And once they have completed, they follow the instruction, click on the arrow, click the yellow arrow because that's what it says. And once you click the yellow arrow, the next step, all right, Control and plus. This is the form that is created, and this is a Google form. So now the re-engagement activity, which is in week 2, you allow the students to put their name, gender, and so on. So I'm just going to, let me share it right here. So by clicking the yellow arrow, this is where it takes them. So there's an hyperlinked arrow. All right. Are you able to see the form? Yes?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Wonderful. So once you allow the students to complete the task or the puzzle, they now click that arrow by following your instruction that you have put in the slide or the activity, the engagement activity. Oh, the words are small. Let me get it a little bit bigger. Okay. Is that better? All right, so let me, this is a grade 9 activity, and I click next. All right, so when you click next, it carries to the next section of that activity. So now the students are now re-engaged with the first image that was done for the engagement at the beginning of the first week, right? So we have the cartoon character, which is Usain Bolt, the same questions. So you're re-engaging them. So the puzzle was a re-engagement activity, and then, you know, bringing their prior learning, basically recapping and so on what was discussed in the previous class, all right? So they answer the questions. You know, you bring a Bitmoji as well. You bring your personal touch to it, which keeps them engaged once you do that. And students are now, once they have completed the task, they press submit, right? So that's another way in which you can re-engage our students once you're in the classroom space. All right, so what I'm going to ask you to do now is to open a slide, right? Slide, and let us try and create our own puzzle. Right now, the last link I'm going to send is the one that gives you the opportunity to record your voice with your instructions. So I'm going to send that link in the chat as well. It's called Vukaroo, vukaroo.com. I'm going to show you shortly. Let me just send that link so you have access to all the programs that I've used for this particular lesson. All right, so let me go on it now so you can see it and what it looks like. All right, so Vukaroo is an audio recording app. So once you find that page, it gives you the option now. You see a red button. Are you seeing the page? I need to ask, you know, because I don't want to be talking and persons are not seeing what's happening. Are you seeing the program?
Yes, I am.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so this is what it looks like. And you just press that red button right there. And you just give your instructions. So you can see that this can be beneficial for several things, right? This can be uploaded to, I'm talking now. So this can be uploaded to Google Classroom. You know, it can be shared with students. So students can always have a copy of what is recorded. So if you want to leave them an instructions in a asynchronous platform, so you upload a lesson and you're not there and you want to leave an instruction, this can also be a part of it. And once you're finished recording, you press that red button, you have the pause, right? You can save, and it creates a link for you, right? So you have a link where students can now have it. So it generates links for those recording that you have done. You can put it to Facebook, Twitter, all the different social media platforms, and it via email to all the students, or you can simply download. So you give that, you get that option to download the recording. Once you press download, it's saved to your file of choice. So you probably create a Vukaroo folder, because that's what I did. I create a folder where I can put all my audios and I save it there. All right, so once you press save, you can save it in your download file, whichever way you prefer. And now you incorporate it in your lesson. All right. Still seeing persons coming in. Let me admit that person. Okay. All right. So that is Vukaroo. I hope you find this also very beneficial as well. As I said, it can cater to the different learners that we have in our classroom. All right. So is there anyone opening their Google Slides so we can go about doing the demonstration process? So I'm going to encourage you to sign up for, test out Vukaroo, along with sign up for Puzzle Mania. All right, Puzzle Fundamentals, sorry. All right, so the first step is for us to open a new slide. So we're creating that slide now. All right. You can always start with a blank slide. That's the best way to go about doing this. So you can change your background as well. Right? So change background into whatever color that you desire. I love bright colors. I like bright colors. You know, we're dealing with the visual arts, so you can play around with the colors, the palette, and see which one suits you and which it would be visually impactful. All right, so I have a blue background. Right now, I'm going to insert a shape, and this is where my puzzle is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and put a square. Put my square over here. Put it to the size that I desire. All right, so that's the puzzle. All right, now also insert shapes, and remember you can now put your bubble, look for what suits you. You can, if you want to, go ahead and look at the different shapes or size, and you also incorporate that. You can change the color. All right, so play around with your color palette. So if I want a yellow bubble, this is now a yellow bubble. All right. All right. All right, see a text box with your instructions. All right, so you would type up your instructions right there. But the interest of time, what I'm just going to do is just copy what is already here. So you just go ahead and you type your instruction based on what. Suppose you want your puzzle to be on Negro roles. So you would upload that image to Puzzle Fundamentals and you would do the same. All right, so click and drag the puzzle piece in the white square to form the picture. So here we have the white square, we have the instructions here, and remember I recorded myself. So now I go ahead and I click audio. Right, so I go to insert, click audio, and now I'm going to look for that recording that I did earlier. All right, so Vocaroo, I select it to say I'm doing a lot of that, and it now starts to create that audio. All right, so here I have my recording and it is there. Hold on. Are you still with me? Yes? Any questions thus far? Everyone can see what's happening? Can I get some feedback? So the recording,
Yes, you're
yes?
fine. I'm fine.
Okay, okay, good. So I have now inserted that recording. Good. And now for the hyperlink. All right, so once again, I press insert. This time you can decide what shape you want. So you know, you can be creative with it as well. Let me just go back to my arrow. Let me try another type of arrow. All right. So now I have my arrow here. Change the color. I want a red arrow. So let me go ahead and change it to red. Good. So I have that right there. Now the next instruction, as we said, is the final thing. So once you've completed the puzzle, you want to give them some prompts, praises. So we know that our students love praise. Even us as teachers, we love the praises. So as I said, for the interest of time, I'm just going to copy right here. And this time it's not a blue arrow or a blue bubble. So we'll just make our edits, right? Let me just copy the text box. So you would insert the text box if you're starting from scratch, right? Control and copy is a shortcut. All right, so Control and V. Let me see. All right. So Control and V allows you to paste. All right, so good job. You have successfully completed the puzzle. Click and play the speaker in the, now it's not blue, it's now yellow. All right. Since it's all caps. For the next instructions. All right. Now, if you want to hyperlink your arrow, because I'm going to copy, let me copy, okay, hold on. Let me copy a link. So copy. So I would create my Google form, and then I'm going to copy the link. All right, so the shortcut to create a link is Control and K. So once I do that, it allows me now, right, to paste my link and I apply it, right? And now that becomes a hyperlink. So if the students, once you follow the instructions, they go ahead and click on that arrow, then it now take you wherever you want them to go. Suppose it's a website, just to view a website, read some information or so on, or to the Puzzle Fundomania or the Google form. And that's what I did with the Google form. All right. Now, has anyone signed up for the Puzzle Fundamentals? No?
Yes, I did.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so I hope to see someone trying out what's happening here. So now I'm going to copy my puzzle. All right, I'm going to start to copy. So you can copy straight from there and paste it in your Google form, in your Google slide. Paste. And now you can resize. Remember, now you want the puzzles to be all over, right? So they can now put them or assemble them together, because they would have already seen the image before in the engagement activity, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just copying and pasting each individual piece. Let's say it takes a little bit of time, you know, but at the end of the day, it's all worth it to see the look on the student's face. Sometimes you can resize. All right, it's good to test it out for yourself once you have completed copying and pasting. All right. All right, so all the puzzle pieces, and you really want to just scatter them around. All right, you can have some of them. All right. All right. And you literally resize them to fit the area. But I think you have the essence of what can be done in terms of how you can re-engage with your students with the different apps or application in which you, how you use the Google Slides with the different applications. All right. Has anyone tried? Yes. How is it going so far? Yes.
I'm trying to work along as you do yours.
Demonstrate.
Yes. So,
yes.
But I miss, because I'm jumping from Windows to Windows. So I missed the part about how you actually take, when I copy the picture from the puzzle,
yes.
or you take it apart, or you scattered it.
Okay. So once is it assembled already, or it's not? It's unscrambled.
It's not. I just copy a picture from the program that I'm seeing there. I don't know if I did it the right way.
Okay, and it's already apart, right? You start to take the individual pieces.
No, I'm not seeing any individual pieces. That's what I'm saying. It's a whole image.
Image. Okay. All right. So let me just go back to Puzzle Fundamentals. All right. Cool. Okay. All right. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing it right here now?
Yes.
So once you upload your picture, it should do that.
Okay. Well, I don't know what I did wrong, but it didn't do that.
Okay. All right. Walk me through what you have.
All right. Let me just see. Let me just go back to my window.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just a sec here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Probably I should. Where's the share option? I'm just. Just give me a second here.
Sure.
All right. The program that I took the image from is the jigsawpuzzle.com, correct?
Yes, that's it.
That's it.
Yes, you upload an image. That's what you said, right?
No, I didn't upload. I just took an image from the program itself.
Oh, that's what you did. Okay. All right. So it should be a. Can you share your screen so I can see what's happening? Because it generates. It has a lot of puzzle options on the space itself. So if you're looking for shapes and colors, you know, forms and so on, you can also look for that, right? But as I said, it can also be tailored to your particular lesson. So that's what I did. I uploaded an image, as you can see, based on what I was using in my lesson. But you can, it already have pre-made puzzle pieces. So I guess that's what you're doing. Yes. So when you click on the puzzle, do you see this space right here?
Yeah, that's what I have on my thing. And I choose the image with the bicycle.
Yes.
That's what
and
I
that
choose.
is 100. Did you click on it? You need to click on it.
Yes. I just copied it and pasted it on my slide.
Oh, the entire image?
Yes.
All right. So you would have to click on the image and it brings you to the puzzle. So you have to copy it. Yes, you have to copy the individual puzzle pieces. That's how it really works. So see, I click on the same bicycle and it's uploading that image.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So that's what's happening. Mm-hmm.
All right, you can continue then with your.
All right, good. Anyone else? Was that clear for anyone who might have missed that part too? Any questions? Let me go ahead and ask any questions. No questions? Okay. All right. So as you can see, it's generating that puzzle. Are you seeing that? So it's still on the
I have a question, Ms.
The presentation. Yes, I'm having a question. Yes, who is that? Miss Rose. Yes.
Yeah. So typically, most of the persons who will be participating in your workshop are teaching the secondary level.
Yes,
as a tertiary level student yourself, on the verge of going into your own classroom, what kind of or maybe how could I use this kind of technique for essentially adults? I mean, what kind of approach? It seems to fit the secondary level. I mean, is a fickle kind of age group where some of the things just don't work in terms of approaches. They're not so hot on games and that kind of thing. Maybe for recreation, maybe, but you are part of the age group that I would interact with. I wonder what kind of ideas you might have yourself on this page.
Okay. Using the puzzle, this particular puzzle, it has to be surrounded. Well, I know I use it even with my family, to be honest. So I realized that children, along with adults, you can create customized puzzle pieces. So if you have, say, a family member whose birthday is coming up, and you create this puzzle piece, you can also print it as a family puzzle, or if you could actually print it off our entire family album, like a photo album for the entire family, and maybe Christmas, everybody get around and put that puzzle together. Or you can also, it's a good way of giving a gift as well, because I've done it before and it was quite it was receptive. Persons really loved it. It was outside of the box. And when they created that puzzle piece, they actually mounted up on the wall.
Okay. This program allows you to print the pieces?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It allows you, once you upload the image, you generate how many pieces you want, starting from 20 all the way to 500.
Oh, okay.
So you put in you can upload your personal picture, your family picture, your child picture. It could be a birthday, because I've done this is what I've experimented with. I've created puzzle. My son loves puzzle. So what I've done is created puzzle with his image, allows him to put it together. When he finishes, like, oh mom, it's a picture with me and you, or something of the sort. It's really something, to be honest. So that is also can be explored if you want to look at it like that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else is trying out the puzzle pieces, putting their lesson together? I really hope you were able to see all the demonstration and it was clear. If there's any questions, please feel free to ask. If you want me to go over any aspect of the demonstration, I will do so. You can just simply raise your hand or put a question in the chat. No? All right, did anyone or anyone want to share what they have done? All right, I have sent in the chat the evaluation form. I know it's not quite at the end, but I want to hear your feedback about this workshop. It is something that we are looking forward to keeping, where us as educators can come and take away things that we can bring to the classroom. As we said, this is now the new norm. We are embarking in a time where technology, using engagement, teaching students that are synchronous, asynchronous, blended approach, a flipped classroom. And this is just one workshop that was implemented after a project that was done, non-stop progress, as the name suggests, right? And I believe in progress in education. I'm a continuous learner myself, right? I would like to see some of the demonstration. I don't know if anyone else have demonstrated or trying now. Can I even get a raise on if you understand what I demonstrated and you're willing to try it, even if you're unable to show us now? I just want some feedback. Okay. All right. So it has been beneficial or helpful. Okay. So as Miss Page did earlier, you can also bring in your Bitmoji, right? So once you have that Bitmoji extension, that Chrome extension, you can now personalize it, right? So and you know that your Bitmoji can say many different praise and so on. So good job, excellent work, keep at it, something of the sort. right? So I encourage teachers. I mean, like every teacher should have an avatar, to be honest. Would you agree with me? It helps with the engagement. So
Yeah, it does.
yes. So I would encourage you to do that. Now, there is a lot more to come. I know we're pressing for time. I'm just going to share back the original presentation that we had. All right. So I just want to take the time out to thank each and every one of you that came out today.
Wait,
Right.
Miss, do you see that there's a person's hand raised?
There's a okay, thank you, Miss Facey. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. All right. Miss Facey?
Yeah.
Yes, your hand was up. Sorry about that. Go ahead and ask your question.
No, because you were asking if anyone was attempting.
Okay, awesome. So you are actually doing it, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Wonderful. It's good to know.
You want me to share my screen or that's okay?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, I was asking. All right, let me stop sharing. All right, go ahead.
I didn't bother to write up anything, though, you know.
Yeah, that's all right. You can do that afterwards. Just yes.
Are you seeing it? You see my screen?
Yes, it's coming up. We're seeing it.
Oh, hold on. Jeez, wait. Hold on. It's right here. All right. You still seeing it?
Yes, we're able to see it. Yes, we're seeing it.
So I have my puzzle pieces here, and I'm copying them
Okay, wonderful.
over here. Wait, no, this looks like I don't know what's going on now.
I think it's loading. You can go ahead and copy again. I see that you did it the first time. That's where you got that piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You can also try Control V. It's a shortcut.
It was working all along, you know. I don't know what happened though. I don't know what happened. What's this box right here? So that's it.
Yes, I realized that it's pasting back on the puzzle. So what you could do is refresh, but I see that you actually trying it out and it's working for the most part, right? So you can refresh the page and see what happens. But I realize you're copying but it's pasting on the program itself.
Yeah, so I basically get it.
Yes.
It will be helpful in the new school term. So thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. You're most welcome. All right. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, man.
All right, reminding you to fill out the form, please. Right. Please state the timeout to fill out that form. All right, so we are wrapping up the session. I want to thank everyone for coming out, for the participant, for Miss Khadijah Page for presenting, sharing with us and demonstrating so you can benefit from what we have to offer here this afternoon. All right. Is there any other question before we go? Thank you, Ms. Drisdale. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you for attending, everyone. Really appreciate the support. We appreciate someone. Okay. All right. So filling out the form, and thank you for attending. You can go ahead and log out.
Okay, thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, Miss Page. Thank you, Miss Rose, for coming.
Excellent presentation. Thanks for having me. I saved the link, both links.
Yes,
And I'll definitely
and I will share the presentation on my YouTube channel. Hopefully those persons who had registered, I have your email address. So yes. Thank you. All right, bye.
Bye.
You're most welcome. Bye. Thank you.